Hello, guys. Welcome back to another Pancake Talks episode. This, I won't say weekly because we are doing kind of bi-weekly these few times. So I would say this humble podcast that we are running since February 24, if I'm not wrong, calling builders, calling important people or maybe well-known people into the crypto ecosystem, and we asked them how they ended up in this rabbit hole, how they came up with the idea at the top of their minds of what they are building, how they become who they are in this beautiful ecosystem we all live in. So here we are in another insightful episode coming from the inside of the PancakeSwap kitchen. I'm Jeffran, PancakeSwap community manager, and one of our hosts today. The other host is a friend of the house. It's one of the best PancakeSwap ambassadors, and it's my friend Annie Zero. Hey Annie, how you doing?
Hello, Jeffran. Everything good here? Enjoying the carnival. This nice period of the time.
Yeah, our carnival is like 45 degrees these days, so I'm kind of fried, to be honest, these days. I'm under the air conditioner, kind of dying, saying, living with the market. Yeah, we are so over, we are so back, we are so fucked. We are in that roller coaster, right?
Totally true. This was so emotional with so many changes in price, and market at some point is down. We have today some hard questions for the guest, like some markets like meme coins are everywhere. We have one project that is coming to the BNB chain, and yeah, let's ask these people what are they trying to build.
Nice. And you also mentioned it was the memes were like at the mouth of everyone some months ago, and now there's kind of uncertainty about what is going to happen with this niche, with this market, which is crypto is also a small market. I mean, we live here, so for us it's like our life. But when you go to the grocery shop, maybe anyone knows about crypto. And when we end up talking about meme coins, it's a niche inside actually small markets. So to answer all these questions, I think we have a really nice guest, pair of guests. So today we have two people that's even better, double better. So let's ask them what is their thinking and their thoughts about all of these narratives and how they are going to evolve. So let's give a warm welcome to Dogdad and Brian from Koma. Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Hey, pretty good. How are you?
Nice. Happy to first. Thanks for being here. So please take the stage. Let us know and all the PancakeSwap community know you a little bit better.
Yeah, so I'll start and then Dog Dad can go after me. So my name is Brian Sumner and I am the founder of Koma Inu. We started in October of 2024, and that was really around the time when no one was really talking about B&B change. So, that was right around when CZ was released. And we decided to kind of in his honor put something together with a strong community in mind to really bring back the glory days of B&B chain. A lot of us started or was a part of the last bull cycle, and B&B chain was, if not the number one blockchain for memes. I was part of the building of Baby Doge at that time, and really learned a lot, and really was able to help build. And uh, a lot of people were excited about B&B Chain. And then, years later, it kind of was put on the back burner. Solana started to shine. There's a lot of FUD behind CZ and B&B Chain and Binance and all that. So a lot of the focus was placed elsewhere. And when we decided to do Koma, it was really to make B&B great again, try and get a lot of those OGs back into the B&B chain. And that's why we decided to launch it. Everyone loves dogs, and we thought it was a good narrative behind it. and we've been really building ever since. And it's definitely great to see that over the last couple months, really there's been a lot of people talking about B&B chain. I remember when we first started, I was asking a lot, like a lot of KOLs and people that I knew, and they just, to be honest, didn't have a lot of interest talking about any projects on B&B chain. And 180 degrees now, these same people are now shilling B&B projects and stuff like that. So I do believe we're definitely in the beginning part of the stage of getting B&B chain back to the glory days. So that's a little bit about me, and then Dog Dad wants to say something.
Yeah. How you doing, everybody? Dog Dad, work on the marketing side for Koma Inu. I've known Brian for, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years at this point. So that's why I thought like this was like a good idea to partner with. In terms of the market conditions and things that Brian was talking about with Solana, I was on B&B, and then 2 years ago I actually moved away and went to Seoul. Seoul was probably like $15 around then, and then I saw like the evolution of bonk and all these things, and people talking about building and the whole environment. Solana was down the worst. They were probably down 90%, and nobody cared. They just talked about building. You had the founders, welcoming people in. You had tons of free airdrops and things going on, and that was the place to be. And before, I didn't really see that with B&B chain. Like, there wasn't replies, there wasn't open spaces. It was like very hard to get their attention because they were at the top. So we started seeing a lot of the things that I saw, the early stages on Solana, starting to happen on B&B chain. So I remember probably like within 2 weeks of launching, like Brian and I were on, spaces hosted by the B&B chain account. And like that, 2 years ago, that never would have happened. They didn't really let people on stage. So like we're starting to see, the evolution of like them talking about, building and welcoming more people, not just talking about gaming all the time. So like we thought this could really, be something long term. And, long story short, here we are 5 months later. Now we're on spaces, with PancakeSwap, and B&B has a lot of attention, and sort of the things that we were hoping and predicting, to eventually come to B&B chain based off of, things that they're talking about in the environment in general. So I think, can echo what Brian's saying. I think this is just the beginning stages, and there's a lot of similarities for when Seoul was the bottom of what you were seeing when B&B lost the attention, and like what they're doing to sort of regain that, become the top again.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Doc Dat, for this introduction of yourself and the project. And now we are going to dig a little bit more on Koma Inu project. We can see on the webpage you are telling making B&B great again. So we heard this history, like in Solana, they have a very strong meme community, but right now seems like it's going down. And B&B is starting to be hot in this narrative because she said, post the dog and give the name broccoli, whatever, and then some events happen, like people creating tokens, and then there is some incentives from B&B that are going to provide liquidity from some of these meme projects. And yeah, I would like to know, how do you feel here in B&B chain, and if you feel like a community is strong?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the B&B chain and the community is getting stronger from what it was, a few months ago. I don't think we're anywhere near where we could be. I think it's going to continue to grow. All memes right now are pretty low. A lot of liquidity seems to have been taken out. So I think it's going to take some time to kind of rebuild that meme cycle with a lot of liquidity and things like that. But I will say BNB Chain is doing a great job supporting projects, not only with liquidity, but also with interactions, spaces, tweets, and especially they help do collaborations with other projects and other people in the space. BNB Chain has done many introductions for Koma Inu. I'm sure they've helped other projects as well. So, they're really, building a team now that's really trying to grow and show that they're here to stay. They're here to reclaim one of the top blockchains. It's a very competitive market out there. I mean, blockchains are constantly being made. Top blockchains seem to be releasing, every month or every couple months. So, that just takes away liquidity from other blockchains with bridges and things like that. So I do believe with what they're doing and how they're supporting is going to help. And then also, having Binance be the sister company to BNB Chain, for them to be able to support BNB memes now. Really, years back, they wouldn't list projects on BNB, but now they are. So that just shows that the opportunity is there. So I think that will give people reason to want to build on BNB Chain, because one of the ultimate goals is to get listed, on Binance, especially being on the BNB side. And we didn't see that last cycle, but we are seeing it now. So I think that is definitely going to help more builders out there.
Nice. I will take something that I see here. I mean, two things. First, it's like why Son of Sheep. I mean, there is a story behind that, or some lore that we can take advantage to explain here. And the other question, I think it's the more meaningful one, but you emphasize that that Koma it's a community-driven or built with community-driven principles. What does it mean in practice, and how do you ensure that the community has a real voice here?
Absolutely. So, as far as being son of Shib, Koma is a Shiba Inu dog. So that's kind of, the logo or mascot, whatnot. So we wanted to tie in kind of a relevance of, a good project going on. So when we say that it's son of Shib, it's just a narrative, and also like, we partnered with Floki, and, we kind of say we're brothers in that aspect because it's also a Shib dog. So we try and, tie things together in a fun and exciting way. Now, as far as kind of being community driven, the community, their voices is definitely being heard. We do have a DAO. So we have a treasury with 5% of our supply tucked away on our DAO. And we have our Koma app that is out now, and you are able to vote on how those treasury funds are going to be used. Now, whether it's going to be towards a charity, towards, maybe some sort of activity, things like that. So it's important that the holders of the community do have a voice in how we're building and how we construct the project. Now, we've also, to show the community that, we listen to them and whatnot, all of our team supply, all that has been locked away in phases. Our liquidity is burned or locked forever, I should say. We've done many buybacks and burns and things like that to show, community milestones that we hit together. That is all through the community. This project was made by the community with initial funding, and it's been driven by it ever since. So, I'm just the founder. I started it, but really the control is in the community's hands.
Yeah, and I'll just add, like, from the get-go, like when we originally made the website and we're sort of like discussing how we want to do this, like a lot of projects will put, team members and, different stories behind it to, give it some, I don't know, boosts in a sense based off of like their background. But like we truly said we didn't want to do any of that and make it as, about the community as possible and not about us. So you won't even find like team members' names on it. When it first launched, Brian, was the original marketer for Baby Doge. So that's sort of like an aspect that I saw for the SHIB connection in a sense. This is the opposite version. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know if Brian agrees, but I think like that was a good move. But ever since, we haven't really made it about us and just trying to do sort of like what people want. And the beta version literally just dropped yesterday. We wanted to get that out earlier, but there's Telegram rules and all these things in a constant shifting market that delayed it. But yeah, now those voices will be heard. People will be able to make their own proposals if they want, and it's really going to be about who's holding it and can click the yes or no button in a sense.
Yeah, thank you for the answers. And for meme coins like Sif, you mentioned, or Flocky, there are some of them like they have exploded in popularity and also in price. Sometimes happens, but they often face skepticism about the longevity of the project. And I would like you to mention what does Koma Inu plan to stand out and offer a lasting value beyond the initial hype of the project.
Well, it really is just constantly building the community. A lot of people in the Chinese community are huge into B&B, and luckily we do have a really solid Chinese community. A lot of people growing, and they love, the artwork. They love Koma. They love the opportunity that we potentially could be one of the next bigger memes out there. So, just constantly, working, showing up, providing reasons to be part of the community is what we're trying to do. That's why, we literally just launched our web-based app. So we originally were going to have a TG bot that really conducted our DAO, but now it's actually outside of Telegram, and it is literally basically an app that you can put on your phone. And then from there, we're going to continually just keep improving it, adding to it more utility and ways that we can continue to just keep growing. And that in itself, and just really just showing that we're here to stay, I think is a good thing to show people we're long term, because most memes, people come and go, but we've really been holding the past 5 months. Even we got listed on Binance Futures, so we did real well, and that really helped us get more holders. And having something like that, part of Koma is going to allow us to show that this is definitely a long-term thing, and building relevance and building reasons why the community wants to stay is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and to add to that, when we launched, you sort of like have decisions to make of sort of like how you want to spend your money, how selfish you want to be as like a project or developer. And we've done over like 800 B&B in buybacks and burning that. We have like different milestones set, to burn. We have specific events, marketing related events for burning to bring, values back to the holders. We spent a lot of time and effort to get listed on as many exchanges as possible. And some people don't like that, but it's more for branding and recognition and trust. So we're probably on 30 different exchanges right now because we wanted to show people like, hey, we're building something here. This isn't just to make ourselves rich in the moment. We're continuing to grow our brand and trust throughout all the the crypto community and who we work with. So it's like we have spaces set with Gate later tonight. We did spaces, with the squad swap decks that uses your NFTs. Like, we wanted to work with everyone possible on BNB chain who was open and interested in working with us, because I think, like, once you start to do that, you all bring each other up and start, making BNB great again, like our slogan is. So that's literally what we did from the get-go, is reaching out to as many projects who were open to work with us, even if it's not like an official money transaction or nothing going on. Hey, let's do spaces together, or something, more impactful. But those options were sort of like endless, in that we're showing people we're here to grow, and like that's going to, continue.
Nice, 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 nice. Talking about growing and how do you plan the things from the get-go, I was checking the Comanomics, we can say, and I was thinking like how this starts to brainstorm. I mean, when you start and you need to think about all over the things, and I don't know because I'm not from the memes space, not as a user, I said, as I mean, how do you plan to start with the tokenomics? How do you separate? I mean, it's not an easy task for any project who wants to build something, but I think like for memes, it could be even more challenging because there is a lot of marketing and community-driven purposes to distribute those tokenomics. How do you start thinking about this, and how do you make it real?
No, that's a very good question, and it isn't an easy task. I mean, tokenomics can make or break projects with how things are allocated, transparency, things like that. So, it took a lot of time. I relied on a lot of people. Dog Dad. I've talked to many other people, got different opinions, things like that. And really just sat down and figured out what was, the best case scenario for tokenomics for long term. You can have tokenomics that are good for short term, but it won't help you long term. And really, we put everything in place for a long term allocation, long term success, long term growth, to make sure that we had supply later on, things like that. The majority of our supply is locked, for at least another 6 months to over a year away. And, we've done pretty well for ourselves, I think, especially with what the market conditions have been and whatnot. So I think that you really have to put a plan together where you don't give too much supply away in the beginning. Some projects might launch with 50% sent to holders, and when you do that, everyone has the initial, market cap or even lower percentages from when people buy at launch and things like that. And that's really when that can really destroy a project in a second. So, we felt with our 28% pre-launch allocation was just enough on the heavier side to make sure that we had some long-term holders and ones that we're going to support long-term. And also, with our marketing supply, with KOLs and things like that, you have to be very strategic behind it, because there's many projects that will just give away, 0.25% supply or 0.5% or 1% supply to these KOLs, and they'll help you for a little bit, but then they're on to the next project, and that supply, they'll most likely sell it, to be honest with you. So there's really planning behind it. You really got to be strategic and smart and think long term, like I said, because some projects do things in a more short term narrative, and they'll give out supply like it's candy, and then from there just going to bite you in the ass, and it's going to be real hard to grow back to a strong community, because then your chart doesn't look well. It looks like potentially the team was selling even though maybe it wasn't, things like that. Maybe it was early investors, maybe it was KOLs, things like that. But the assumption when you look at it, it's going to look like the team rugged it or whatnot. So I definitely suggest being really strict with your supply. and really partner with people that have the long-term mindset as you, and just continue to keep working.
Yeah, I'll add, you know, knowing people in this space and sort of like their background and what they do when they promote things is like a huge help. So if you're involving other people in projects, you know, ask for recommendations or, you know, opinions on XYZ person who, you know, is going to help out your project. And additionally, I would say transparency is like a super important thing, and it goes a long way. So when we did, you know, Koma's launch, we we labeled every single wallet on chain. We did like the request for BSC scan, so there's like no questions about what is what. When we look at launches on Sol, you see a large majority of it is like bundled, and you know the team has a bunch of wallets and then they hide it, and you don't know what's really going on, and it just like adds more confusion. So like even if it's price is going up, like it can nuke at, you know, any minute. So like having that transparency and being open reduces a lot of you know, headaches and chaos going down the road. So when you're planning your tokenomics, put it on a website, you know, label them, make sure it's like easily to understand, and that will also help you. And just look at different projects. So like I looked at a bunch of different meme projects and their websites, like the successful ones and things that they've done, and you know, just try to incorporate your own version of that. That would be my advice.
Yeah, that was interesting to know about these tokenomics on meme coins. I was not aware of these distributions. I'm more used to other kind of tokenomics. And yeah, that's interesting for me to learn about memes, because yeah, sometimes you can see very different tokenomics from one project to others. And we are going to finish with this question, I think, unless Chef Fran have more. But it's about the vision of the project, because this crypto market is so volatile. It changes very quickly. Even the technology changed so fast. So we are experiencing a big change. What are the biggest challenge for Koma Inu in the next year, for example, and how you are preparing for saving these obstacles? Like, what are the things you think are going to be working? And then if Koma Inu is going to remain like a niche community token, like a meme coin, or do you have any broader ambitions to create something in this case in the Binance Smart Chain?
Yeah, so you know, long term, you know, it's definitely good to continue to, you know, keep building, keep trying to be innovative, and you know, especially really once you start having a foundation of a community, from there you're able to just keep trying to build and show them that, you know, reasons to stay, and that's what we're doing. Luckily, you know, we have a nice reserve of USDT set aside, so we can use some of those funds to continue to do development and whatnot. You know, long term, you know, we definitely want to do more than just a meme. Um, you know, I like the whole meme aspect, but having something else beyond it, to get people to want to continue to interact with it in ways, is something that is smart move. You know, I think it's good to start with a meme, kind of get that fun narrative going, get people, you know, emotionally attached to the meme. And then from there, you're able to build out, you know, different utilities and whatnot. And that's definitely something that we're doing, you know, especially with the release of our new app. We're going to continue to be able to add to it, and have our Koma community be able to use that app and have different interactions with different things that we're going to be continually putting in it. And that's something that we're looking for long-term growth. So, you know, depending on the market and things like that, luckily that's not going to affect us because, like I said, we have a nice reserve set aside where no matter what the market does, we'll have funds available to continue to grow and build and continue to support the Koma community and show that we're constantly building.
Yeah, now I'll add, being, in the meme space is probably, the best space to be in my opinion, because that's what gets a lot of people actually into crypto. Like if you looked at last cycle, you had grandmothers buying Doge, but not Bitcoin. It's the things that sort of grab people's attention is like how they get first introduced into this space, especially with like different changes in the political environment, especially like in the US. You saw Brian Armstrong on Coinbase saying, hey, memes are here to stay. We're going to come out and support them. You saw Kraken just added BNB. We're the third BNB token they've ever listed in their, 10 plus history of existence. Um, like a lot of these bigger exchanges are now sort of embracing memes in general. And there's so many different things that you can do, but at the same time, you don't want to just like chase a trend that could literally, die the next day. Oh, we saw lots of memes jumping to AI things, and none of that really panned out for a lot of them. So if you're gonna do something, we have tons of ideas, but you got to do it, the right way to where it's actually impactful and useful. So we have lots of ideas, and the best thing you can do, best advice I could give as somebody in a project like this is don't say what you're going to do to the public until you know for a fact it's going to happen, because that's sort of the worst thing you can do is put out a bunch of ideas and information and not being able to deliver on those thoughts or promises that you make, because it just makes you look incompetent and not a strong project. So be consistent in the fact that you can show up every day, build, introduce new things, but be confident when you release them. And that's what's kept us here for 5 months, and it's what's going to keep us going.
Hey, I really like it, the last words. So I hadn't I haven't had any other question, but you mentioned this, so I will take the chance to ask, what's your opinion about the future of the memes market? Do you think they are here to stay? And if yes, and I think you do, what would be the near future? Because as we were talking with you, and you have a lot of things on your plate as next steps. So it's like not all. I mean, it's all for the community, but there are not only community purposes. I mean, yes, but utility. You mentioned a lot of things that comes along really well with utility, and we know at the end of the day, utility is what people looks. No matter if utility is having fun, which is one of the things. So I would like to know your opinion about the whole meme market. In We can say in the next years. I don't know if crypto is too much, but in a near future we can say.
Yeah, go, Brian.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, so I just am very pleased in general to see big shifts in memes. Like the price right now doesn't in the meme market doesn't necessarily reflect it, and I think you need to sort of like take a step back and understand that memes, their growth is like way more exponential than Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana, and they're going to have bigger pullbacks. And like you just have to understand that's the nature of the market you're getting in. The best comparison I can give to that fact is if you look at Bitcoin was up 5x from the bottom of the recent cycle. BNB was up probably 2 or 3x from the 200 lows. And Solana was up 30x from its $8 value, went to 300, and now that's down close to 50%, even closer to 60% from that high, and that's because it literally grew exponentially more than all these other ones. So those are going to have bigger pullbacks. So if you understand it from like that perspective, looking at Solana, like you're going to see the overall market that these memes went really, really high, faster than a lot of other ones, made a lot of people money. Now they're going to have to come back, settle, find, that new bottom for when this new, market starts to boom again. And I think it's going to, based off of a lot of the exchanges talking about embracing it. Like there's literally a government agency in the United States called Doge. Like Doge is being talked on politics 24/7 these days. So it's like billionaires are embracing memes, exchanges are embracing memes. They're just gonna keep getting more and more popular because that community factor of like being a part of something that is 100% the biggest utility anyone can be a part of. And that's sort of like, if you were here last cycle with the NFTs, like those things were really popular, but they didn't last because they're limited on who can hold them. A lot of these collections had 5,000, 10,000 people, and they went really, really high, and then they went really, really low. And you saw a lot of these projects, hey, we need to do something different and then introduce a coin where somebody with $1 can be a part of it. So you saw Bored Apes have their ape coin. You saw Pudgy Penguins, introduce their Pengu token. So there's a big positive to being able to get somebody in, with $500, $1, $1,000, and be a part of a community. So I think the recent swings down is just sort of natural in this market, and when this crypto comes back, memes are going to go the highest, just like they did last year. So stay positive on memes. That's my perspective.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely agree with Dog Dad, and he's pretty much said the majority of what I was thinking. So memes are really, I feel like, how you can truly build a community. There's just it's, I don't want to say it's tangible, but it's something that you can relate to, almost feel. And that, I believe, is how we get that mass adoption, is people, and memes are even before crypto, memes have been around, and memes are really a part of our daily lives and how we interact, how we have fun or express ourselves, whether it's good, bad, and whatnot. So tying it into crypto is just a way to invest your time, money, energy, and that's something that is really going to be even bigger, I believe, this cycle than it was last cycle. So I'm definitely excited to see what the next year or two look like.
Nice. Oh, Annie, go ahead.
No, I mean, I hope many of these meme coins moon, because it's gonna be, I think, beneficial for all the blockchain, the exchanges, everything is gonna be better, and let's see if we can have a B&B season and we go great again. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being here, for telling the community about Koma. And I want to remind all the users that we actually have a pool where you can stake a cake and earn Koma. It's another way for people, for cake holders, to be involved in different projects. Maybe if you don't want to go start directly and buying, you can actually stake your cake. And the Koma guys here already gave us really good insights about what's cooking, not only in Koma, but in the memes ecosystem. So thanks again, guys. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up? The stage and the mic is yours.
I just want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you to those listening live now or potentially later on the recording. any projects on BNB that are looking maybe for some advice or whatnot, I mean, we're here to help. That's part of what we said, is to make BNB great again and also be the protectors of BNB chain. So, we want to do everything as legit as possible, steer you in the correct direction, and hope that more projects can be successful on BNB chain. And that's what, the Koma community is all about. And then Dog Dad.
Yeah, just thanks for having us and having this platform and educating people. I don't know if you guys would have the answer to this question, but on PancakeSwap, like, do you know the I know you guys have like 1 trillion in volume, but the percentage of memes being traded on your decks, what would you guys say if you had like a percentage to give it?
Well, I never thought about that. I remember I couldn't say a rough number in terms of a general approach, but I remember we had some days when broccoli went broke in, we can say, that we had, I don't know. Annie, do you remember those days where B4 took like almost the volume of all the day? It was like billions in one day. It was, I don't
Yes,
know, huge.
some specific days like we have in the B2 pools, like are mostly meme coins, huge volume. But
That's awesome.
there are some days that is gonna be a big percentage of the volume traded on PancakeSwap, but it's very special moments. I
Yeah,
must
we
say.
have around last month in February, we had almost 3 billion volume per day, 2.8, I think. And I'm not sure about a percentage of them, what percentage of them are memes. But as Annie said, and I mentioned earlier, there are some days that maybe, I don't know, I remember 800 million in a day only about from memes or something like that. But there are only specific days. It's like how the market behaves sometimes. Something came up, like someone mentioned something, and the volume spikes up until the moon, we can say. But I will look for that percentage with our data team, and I will let you know. But yeah, it's interesting to know.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
and thanks for having us and inviting Koma, and hopefully see you guys soon.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for being here at the other side. And let's gather again in another Pancake Talks episode with a new guest. Thanks, Annie, also.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye bye. Have a nice rest of the day, night, and keep building.